what's up, her? I'm your girl A1 the artist, aka I am the black sheep.
And I'm your girl Robin.
And today we're gonna talk about the shit that people think about
but don't want to talk about. Similar thoughts.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back.
This is our episode 2.
So how have you been since we last spoke, A1? Oh my goodness.
I've been good. I was letting people listen to the single trials and we'll see how that come back. I don't know how it's gonna come back, but we'll see,
Okay. Last week's episode was great. I love the conversation. I hope you guys love the conversation, which is why you're back for more. Thank you for coming back. So as you can see from the description, this week we are talking about what? Marriage.
Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage.
Hey.
Oh, wait a minute. We off.
That's all right.
You try to make it hood. You try to make it hood.
I had to add some trap to it.
It's cool. We had to throw a little beatbox in
there. Put some stank on it.
Yes, of
course. Love and marriage is not as bliss as that song, okay?
That is facts. I'm not nor never have been married, but I do understand the work behind it.
Okay, so let's just dive in. So for those of you who don't know, I am the married one of the bunch.
You are.
I have been married. Oh my goodness, on the 14th, it'll be a year. So just a couple more days.
Yes.
I will be celebrating my 1-year anniversary, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how has your year been for you?
My year has been something. So we got married during the pandemic. We got pregnant during the pandemic. So our first year of marriage, is supposed to be the honeymoon phase. It's been a hot mess. It's been full of love and beautiful moments, and I love my husband to death. And if I could do it again, I would, because I love him and I love being married to him. But I will say, I don't know if it was me being pregnant our first year of marriage or us being in a pandemic our first year of marriage, or the two combined kind of took a toll on us. But, we survived. Even though we're still in this pandemic, we survived and we learned a lot about each other. He's gotten to see me as a parent, and I think I'm doing a great job. And
of course,
I'm seeing him parent from birth.
Yeah.
I see him parent little kids, but now I'm seeing him as a parent from birth, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay, so what do you think are necessities in a marriage?
So for me, personally, for me, I believe that premarital counseling is a necessity. It's very important, and it's something that I spoke to my husband about before getting married. Obviously, I couldn't convince him to do it. I guess I could have tried a little harder. I try not to have any regrets in life, but one of my regrets was not pushing the counseling a little harder. Because I believe premarital counseling is used to, identify issues that could later be a problem in your marriage. And I feel like if we had addressed some of these things in premarital counseling, our first year of marriage probably wouldn't have been as much of a struggle as it has been. Because I feel like these problems would have been addressed in the counseling. Go ahead.
So why do you think that he is opposed to it? Or do you think that he's opposed to it? Do you think he ever will? Because you didn't do premarital counseling, do you think that he would be open to marital counseling?
I don't know. I spoke to him about it. It was a few months ago, but I told him if we can't resolve our issues by just communicating, would you be open to marriage counseling because I think we need a mediator. We need a professional to like help us speak to each other and get to the bottom of things. And he said no.
It was just a no. It wasn't like I think about it. No, just a no.
Like it was a no. He said, I'm not ready for that. And it was a few years ago, like earlier in our relationship, I noticed that, well, I believe that he would have benefit from therapy. And I told him about it because, he had some issues with growing up. And I felt therapy would have been helpful to him, but I couldn't convince him, and I don't want to pressure him to do anything he doesn't want to do, right? Mm-hmm. So I just left it alone. But the further we get into our marriage and like us communicating isn't as effective as I want it to be, I just feel like therapy could definitely help us in the long run. But that's a conversation for another time, I feel.
Do you think that if you guys do not seek therapy at some point in your relationship, do you think that it's gonna start to create issues with y'all relationship?
I don't know. I can't tell at this point, but I will tell you, with the advice of you and really telling him how I feel. I actually want to shout you out for this, for actually giving me the advice to tell him how I feel and tell him exactly how I feel. I've seen a lot of improvements. Mm-hmm. So thank you, A1.
No problem. You gotta tell them. Because, like, guys don't know. Like, women, I think we just naturally be like, they should know, or they should know. Like, they've been with me for this long. They should already know I am. But if you don't just tell them, like, hey, I don't like it when you do this, or hey, I need you to do this for me, they don't know. It ain't a guessing game. You gotta be real cut and dry with them because they wiring is just so different than ours.
You're absolutely right, and that's something I've been working on because that's you're right. I let stuff build up because I'm like, this motherfucker should know how I feel. Like, why don't you understand how I feel? Like, why don't you care? Like, but you're right. Like, they are programmed so differently from us, and it's not them being assholes. They're just completely oblivious.
Right.
Men are completely oblivious to shit.
But like, if you get to the point where you are able to tell them about the things, then they will try to rectify the behavior if they care about you.
Absolutely. So my doing that, I've definitely seen improvements in him. And when I communicate with him, my goal isn't to attack him.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like a lot of women, when we let stuff build up and we finally explode, we're attacking our partner.
Of course.
And it shouldn't be like that because they don't take well to that,
Right.
They're not susceptible to attacking. So you just gotta just speak. So that's something.
Or not let it build up. Like, address it when it first happened, because when you let it build up, it's going to naturally come out in a negative way.
Yeah, because I had one case, like, recently where I was just going to let it just brush off. Like, something was pissing me off, and I was just like, whatever. But then I took a step back, and I was like, this is not helping. This is not going to help. So let me just tell him how I feel. And I don't know why I shouldn't feel this way, but I don't know if I feel like insecure or uncomfortable telling him how I feel out of fear that he might take it the wrong way or like I might hurt his feelings. That's not what I want to do. I never want to make him feel bad for anything.
Right.
And that's what, marriage is supposed to be without judgment. You're not supposed to judge your partner. Only God can judge us. And I don't want him to feel like I'm attacking him or judging him. But once I think what I'm doing is like protecting his feelings and discrediting mine.
That's exactly what you're doing.
And I had to learn to stop doing that because, my feelings are important too. And because these men are so oblivious, I have to protect myself and my feelings as well. So I took a step back, I took a breath, and I told him how I felt. And he understood.
And it's not even about protection of anybody's feelings at the end of the day. Like marriage is like you become one person. And so if you think an aspect of being married becoming one person, then would you hold yourself accountable? You would hold yourself accountable if you do something fucked up. So if you are one person or you are one unit, why wouldn't you hold that other individual accountable for stuff? So at the end of the day, that's what it's about, the accountability level and what you want and what you expect, especially in a new marriage because you guys are still learning each other.
Exactly. And you're right about that. And I don't know if it has anything to do with me being young, because this is like my first legitimate relationship, aside from us being married. Us being in a relationship, that was my first legitimate relationship. So I definitely had and still do have some growing to do. And I love that we are growing together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was in a previous relationship that resulted in 2 children. So he was in a relationship for a while, but it's much different. And I think because of his previous relationship, that's another reason why I'm on the fence about things, because I don't want to be compared. Like, I don't want him to feel like he's dealing with the same thing in this new relationship.
Well, you can't
And
really be compared because he made the choice. Like if you guys are completely different, because if you guys were the same in any way, shape, form, and fashion, he would have married her, and he didn't marry her. He married you. So you are different by far because he made a choice. Like guys make that choice. It's not a woman's choice to get married. You know what I mean? Like the guy has to choose us, and so for him to choose you in that way, it is no other woman, that you are the woman he wants, and so there's no other woman that can compare to you, and hopefully God willing that stays the same. You are that bitch.
you see, that's why I love you, A1. That's why I love you. Tell it like it is. Thank you, thank you. I needed that.
You're
But
welcome.
as true as that is, as true as that may be, I still have that insecurity of being compared to his previous
Right.
relationship, and I don't know how to. I don't know how to like get rid of that feeling. So that's something that I need to work on, and that's another reason why I think we should have done premarital counseling. I feel like that's something that would have been brought up, because that's something that I would definitely bring up in the counseling. Because when we were just dating, I was competing with her,
Mhm.
like a bit. It was no thought like I was competing with her.
Mhm.
She's been known much longer. She had 2 kids with him. She's the most important woman in his life because she's the mother of his kids. You got to keep her happy. So I don't know. I guess me dealing with that, I definitely took it into the marriage, and that's something that I guess I probably have to deal with that on my own in therapy.
Mhm.
So that's something that I should seek. It's therapy for myself.
Yeah.
I
I'm
talk about
learning that.
somebody.
I'm learning that you gotta be right in yourself in order to make it work too. So what other things do you feel like are important in a marriage?
um, Actually making time for each other. Like we live together. We see each other morning, noon, and night. But that doesn't mean we're making time for each other. I think actually cuddling up and watching a movie together. Putting the phones away, putting the technology away, and just spending time with each other. Date nights. I
Definitely.
want to feel appreciated. I want you to flirt with me. I want you to make me blush still. Like I
Yeah.
want to feel like it's brand new. So making time for each other. Sex.
Oh, oh,
Sex
definitely,
is very important.
definitely. Sex is important. Like a lot of
Sex
women don't.
is.
A lot of women don't feel that way. They're like they stop giving they dude sex when they get married. But it's like I still want to be banged out every once in a while.
And that's so. Our first year of marriage, we supposed to be banging like bunnies, right?
Right.
But I got pregnant in our first year of marriage, and I can tell you, in our first year of marriage and the first 12 months of this marriage, I think we only had sex like twice.
Ooh.
It's terrible, right?
Yeah.
Not my fault, because I'm all for the sexy time. I was 6 weeks postpartum, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to bang it out. Let's do it. Sex is very important. I mean, and I think we've been intimate in other ways, and I guess it's okay for him, but
not okay for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to I want the old thing back.
So why don't you take the initiative and put on you some sexy clothes and light some candles, fix him some good food, and feed him and fuck him?
Feed him.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Listen.
I mean,
it's easier said than done. I don't want to hear it. It's easier said than done. But I'm not. I did hop on the Amazon, and I bought some really sexy lingerie.
All right.
And some nice new toys.
Okay.
But I've had them for like 2 months.
Oh my goodness. You gotta do it. Pull the Band-Aid off.
I've had them for a while, but I haven't whipped them out yet. I don't know.
It's okay.
It's another.
It's gonna be like for him, if you obviously based on your reaction, that's not something that you would normally do. So for him to receive that, he gonna be like, his mind gonna be like super blow, and it might be like most best sex y'all probably ever had, because it's like men need to feel wanted too. Like he might be walking around feeling like, like, oh, she want me to take the initiative. Like I want her to be what's the word, aggressive sometimes. Like he want you to unleash your inner lion, your beast, your
I'm gonna try it out. We're planning a trip to Florida, guys. So
definitely,
I'm gonna try this technique out.
Pro sex for Robin on the Florida trip. Pro sex.
So I'll let y'all know how it goes. But I don't know. Like I say it's easier said than done. But I just maybe, like, even though I'm ready to bump uglies, I'm ready to do nasty after having this baby, a part of me is still insecure. And that's my husband. I don't think he would reject me, but what if he does, right? Like, what if he rejects me? Like, it reminds me of this. I don't know if you've ever watched The Mindy Project.
Mm-mm.
But she was actually pregnant during this time. But she was kind of not feeling herself. And, she wanted to get her sexy on. So she went and got her sexy on. She got this nice little outfit and laid up in the bed, ready for her man. And he started laughing.
Oh, that's like worst case scenario.
Exactly. And every time I think, okay, you know what? I'm going to whip out the lingerie. I'm gonna get beautified. I'm gonna spend an hour in the shower, shave this body down, and get ready for him. But then I think back to that episode, like, what if this dude walks in and starts giggling at me?
Oh goodness, not giggling.
But like, what the fuck are you laughing at?
No,
I just spent 2 hours getting ready for you, and you're laughing.
No, I say that you just make it a spontaneous moment, like come in there in your towel after a shower and take his video game controller out of his hand, give him some head, jump on the penis, ride him to both of you nut, and then call in the day. I'm just saying. It can work.
This episode definitely needs the explicit.
Yes, definitely.
It's explicit.
Yep. And he gonna be like, like he gonna listen to it and he gonna be like, yes, that's exactly what I want to watch.
Okay. But I gotta do something. For those of you who don't know, my husband is actually in the military and he will be deploying next month. So it breaks my heart, but we need to get it in.
Yes.
Like I can't let my man leave like this.
No. And you
Please
want another
to get it
baby,
in.
so you gotta
I do want
get to
another
work on
baby.
that. You gotta get to work on
You're
that.
right. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all know how it goes.
You can be like, I have Mr. Sexy Time.
Right.
I.
But yes, guys, sex is important.
Okay.
Women want it just as much as men, if not
Facts.
more.
Facts.
Especially after, well, not I don't know. What was your libido like after you had a baby? Were you ready to? Oh no, you were celibate after you had your kids, right?
No.
The youngest one? No. Okay. So what was it like for you?
After my son, I was ready. I was like, let's do it. And I had my little buddy, and he came to see me whenever I wanted, and we would get it in. It felt different. It was amazing. It was like this, like the baby knocked something loose that it wasn't. I don't know, but it was different. But definitely sex drive was higher. I think also the older I'm getting, my sex drive is higher. So, and then coming off of celibacy, my sex drive is higher. Like I do want to have a lot of sex. So I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Okay, but enough of that sex talk. We can save this talk for another.
Of course.
A nice juicy episode.
Yeah, we got something coming up. We got something for y'all. So what do you think? What is your definition of a partnership?
A partnership is understanding that you are becoming one, meaning you need to be completely and wholeheartedly honest with me. You need to be open with me. And I mean about everything, especially finances. I think that's finances, money is like the number one cause for divorce. Yeah. So I think it's very important to discuss finances long before you decide to get married, because that's one thing we didn't discuss thoroughly. I kind of understood his finances, but I didn't know his finances like I should know. And that's something that I need for him to understand, because, we had this conversation and our ideals are different when it comes to finances, because I told him straight up, like, your debt is my debt and my debt is your debt at the end of the day, because we are one.
Right.
So I need to know what's going on. But he was like, no, I don't want you to feel like you're responsible for my debt. And I'm like, no, I am at the end of the day.
Right.
Because our income is our income. It's our debt. However, you married me, you married this debt.
Right.
So
that's why you gotta be careful who you marry, because you marry somebody with child support debt and all the things, you're like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
They get to garnishing your shit.
Yo, not even that happened to my mom. I'm not even lying to you. Like, my parents had been separated for a long time, but they weren't divorced. And that man, hopefully he don't listen to this. Hey, Daddy, love you. But, he had some back child support, and they garnished my mom's tax return. So, yeah, finances, very important. And another thing that I learned is it's okay to agree to disagree in marriage. Okay. It's absolutely okay. I think you need to know how to agree to disagree. As much as I hate that statement, I guess that's the Virgo mentality, because people talk about Virgos. I don't know the horoscope thing, but that's my Virgo mentality. I have to learn how to agree to disagree instead of feeling like I need to be right. Or somebody needs to be wrong.
And it's not
me. It's not me. And, forgiveness. You got to be able to forgive. Otherwise, you're going to be in a marriage full of resentment. And I don't resent marrying him. I know at the beginning of our relationship, it was very rocky. But I gave that power to the other woman. And I wish that I didn't, and I wish that he didn't, because we gave her a lot of power, and it took a toll on our relationship. And I was like, it got to a point where I was like, dude, I love you, you love me, and I won't let her win. She does not have power over our relationship anymore. And for a long time, we gave her that power. So definitely giving up that power and just being very secure in what we have and in our love. It definitely made our relationship stronger because you know what? Love wins. Love always wins. So I have no regrets in my marriage. You know, a lot of my friends and family thought I was crazy. I was only 21, 20, dating a man with 2 kids, and he's my coworker. They were like, "You need to drop him, honey. Like that's just ridiculous." But no, I didn't drop him because I loved him and I love him hard, and I will always love him. And I'm gonna hop on that dick.
All right, hop on the dick. I'm down for that
Hop
plan.
on the dick. Hop on the dick.
Okay, so before we wrap this up, I do want to kind of ask you one more thing. What is your favorite thing about being married?
My favorite thing about being married is having my forever companion. Just having my person to confide in, just to hold me when I need to be held, to listen to me when I just want to vent, and to listen to me without judgment. Maybe he's judging me in the back of his mind, but he ain't saying it to my face. And vice versa. Like we always got something shady to say in the back of our minds.
Yeah.
But I don't judge him, and he doesn't judge me, and I think it's great having your person, and your person doesn't necessarily have to be the person you married. It could be your best friend, it could be your sister, your brother. Just having your forever companion, I think is very beautiful, and I think it's something that a lot of people need, and I hope that everyone has the chance to find their forever companion because it's beautiful.
I agree with that. I completely agree. So that wraps up this episode of Love and Marriage, and I appreciate you being so honest and open about your marriage. I hope you guys will be okay after this.
I'm gonna let him listen to this episode, guys.
Yes, definitely let him listen to it so he can hear me tell you that you need to hop on the dick.
to put it on them. Put it on them.
All right, you guys have a great week. Thanks again for listening to us.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's topic, let's keep the conversation going. Make sure you like us on Facebook at Similar Thoughts Podcast and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at _Similar Thoughts.
And also follow me at A1 the Artist. That's AONE _the _artist. And I am the Black Sheep. And that's IM _THA Black Sheep. Thanks again for listening. And you guys have a wonderful week.